Whoops. Okay, there we go. Ciao Juventini, welcome back to another Juventus podcast. Oh man, I just had it on a different the first screen. I didn't even realize that, but yeah, sorry about that, everybody. Welcome back to another JuveCorner cast podcast edition, everybody. And it's you guys already saw the score: Juventus 2, Torino 0. Everybody, I'm here with Severino. We're gonna break down everything that involves around this game, and it's gonna be insane, especially with the win and also the game that's going to be tomorrow with Inter and Napoli, which is going to be very important, especially if they tie. So, guys, like I said, make sure to put a maximum likes, subscribe, share your content, share our content, everywhere, everybody. And also, get some new people in here as well. That'll be much appreciated, everybody. Let me say hello to people in the chat. If I think I did see a comment before. I think it went away, but it's okay. But Severino, how you doing?
What's up, brother? Happy to be here. Happy after that win. Much needed 3 points. But yeah, no, 100% happy to be here. Thank you for having me on. And let's get into this because there's a lot to get into. There's a lot to get into.
For sure, man. It's definitely going to be interesting, especially with the game that's tomorrow. And what a game it was today. The Derby della Mole. Definitely, I would say one of the biggest rivalries, one of the biggest in it's the Turin Derby in Italy as well. So, my prediction was 3-1. I said it yesterday. I wanted Coop to score, but
Me too.
It ended up being 2-0. And just like I said that there is a comment here from Sunseats that says my prediction was on point 2-0 and Weah scored. Luka didn't though. Yeah, I don't know about that Luka one, man. Because I remember he said it yesterday. So
I'm fine with Luka not scoring. But he had a hell of a game. Yeah. He had a hell of a game. We could dig deeper into this as the pod goes as we go on. Yeah. But Luka has become such an anchor, like in this 11. Sorry, I went into baseball mode for a second when I said 9. No, in this 11, like Luka has become such an anchor in this thing, man. Like it's just, he really is the new captain. Like in my eyes, like everything on him is like, you see him yelling at players during the game. You see him like just telling people, okay, no, go here, go left, go right, go come back up the middle. Like, I love that about him. And he's really taken this captain role, as Gatti did too, I feel, and Cambiaso the same. But I feel like he really took this on.
Yeah, no, he was definitely impressive in this game, especially. I think this whole season he's been really impressive under Motta.
Yeah.
Last season it wasn't so good,
And not to cut you off, but the Spalletti slap in the face this week. We could get onto that later, but give me a break. Me a break. There's
Yeah, no,
something else going on there. Like, there's got to be something personal or whatever. Like,
I
how
don't
do
know
you
what it
not
is.
call this guy up? How do you not? How do you not call him up?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, especially with Locatelli playing really, really good this season. He
Yep.
still hasn't called him up, which really is a bit concerning. At least have him on
Yeah,
the
it's
bench. At least call him up.
yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I mean, I can't name. I mean, they play a 3-5-2 now, which is a whole other discussion. But they're playing a 3-5-2, and I guess they feel more comfortable with like Fratesi and who's the other one they called up there?
Well, they called up
Uh,
Richie, right? Richie,
Ricky is up there, and there's somebody else that I'm trying to figure. I can't remember the name.
Tonali.
Tonali's that's
Oh,
fine, but
yeah.
I feel like it should be Tonali and Locatelli as a
Oh
pivot.
yeah. Oh yeah. I would love that.
That should be your pivot.
Yeah.
And where they could just swipe back and forth, and then have Barella wrapping around them, and it's just it boggles my mind. It
Yeah.
boggles it.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Like I said, with the Azuri as well, which we'll talk about also later in this stream as well, because it's international break now. So we have to talk about, of course, Italy and the Nations League and, all that stuff, which will be also in the other streams and other videos. We're going to be doing that because, of course, I'm an Italy supporter. So,
Absolutely, we all
definitely,
are. Absolutely.
So, yeah, no. So, like, going back to the Torino
Yeah,
game.
let's get back to the game. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
who was the person you think that actually like changed this game? Do you think that it was Chico? Like, who do you think?
Ah, Chico came on a little late, for my taste. Anyway, you know this, Gio, from my comments in the chat and comments from being live with you. I'm not a Timothy Weah fan.
Mm.
Well, let me put it this way: I'm not a Timothy Weah fan where he's playing. I don't see him as a Juventus caliber winger. I look at him more as bring him in the 70th to back up Duchan at this point, because we don't have any vice Duchans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I look at him as a guy you bring in the 70th to just give Vlahovic a break. I'm not a fan of him on the wings. I don't think he creates much. He's scored his goals this year, and I feel like they're all tap-ins. They're all like right place, right time type of goals. And God bless it. Like, bro, I'm a Juve fan, so I'm always
Yeah.
going to be like, yeah, if that helps us win the game, that's cool. I just don't see him as a Conceição or as a Yildiz or as a Nico Gonzalez on those wings to create opportunities.
Yeah.
So all that being said, I would go with, to me, Cambiaso and Locatelli to me today. And even Thuram was great. The one who scares me, and I say this, I think week in and week out, whether it's through text or on your lives,
Yeah.
Coop Miners, bro. Coop Miners
Yeah.
to me is just like, what the hell? Like, what
Yeah.
the hell, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's fallen into a lot of bad luck spots, but he's also like, I'm like, this guy should be ripping it on this team with the amount of possession time that we've had and all this stuff. Like, I feel like he should have at least 4 or 5 goals by now. I understand he was hurt for a few weeks. I get it, but I just don't want it to get in his head, because he's the best player on our team, in my opinion. He's the best player, all-around player on our team. And we haven't seen it yet,
Exactly. And that's the biggest issue, I think, especially since he's one of our best players on this team, if not
Yep.
the best.
Yep.
And we paid a lot of money for him, and he's got to start showing up, one way or another, because it's going to get bad, especially if he doesn't start scoring, because, that's what a lot of people are questioning now. Is he going to be that, guy that can be there in those big moments like, Vlahovic hasn't, which we'll talk about Vlahovic too, because it's the same thing. But, I think that this is like a little bit of a low ground for Coop, but, I think that once he gets that first goal, which we saw in the Champions League against Lille, right? He got that first goal.
Those 2 goals on offside, yeah.
Exactly, and like I said, once he gets that first one, he's going to continue and he's going to start being consistent, because I think that he's a player that all he needs is that little bit of a confidence boost, and that'll be
Yep.
perfect, and that's what he really needs. So we do have a
I
confidence as well.
I
But go ahead.
think, wait, Reno, happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah,
Is that,
Reno.
yeah.
Yep, it's Reno. Tanti auguri,
Auguri.
Reno.
Auguri,
Yep.
fratello. Auguri.
So we have go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say with Coop, like today he actually I felt like he played well. He was in the middle of everything. I love that he floats. Like that's what Coop does. Like he's every once in a while you look and he's at the bottom of your screen playing on a wing shot. Then, 5 minutes later, he's right up the middle behind Dushan. Then he's backing up on a counterattack with the defense. Like he's really all over the place. And that's what shows me that he's on it. Like he knows it's basically just he just wants that first one or two goals just to settle him in, to like comfort him a little bit, like just to settle him down, make him feel comfortable with Dushan up there, up top with the wingers. I just feel like he just needs that little push, that little fist pump, like just to get him going.
Yeah,
Once
exactly.
I'm not worried about him. I'm just more worried about his mental state at this point.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I agree 100% with that. With that being said, and actually, Sunseed actually brings up a good point here. Coop and Vlahovic remind me of each other. They get into moments, but they struggle to score
Yeah,
at times.
that's a good point. It's a good
100%.
point. It's a good point.
And like I said, with this situation, because if we could get these two guys scoring, this team could be like really scary if we really think about it.
Well, Gio, think about it. Today, they both had good games. Like Dushan's game today was good.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know there's a lot of like pressure on him and whatever, but I think he played. His last 2 or 3 games, his touches are great. He's going back on the ball really well. I feel that it's just a matter of when they get their opportunities. I think they're overthinking, they're over pressured, and maybe they kick it over the net or have a bad swipe at the ball. I just think they're over. It's a mental thing at this point, obviously, right? Like it's not that they're physically messing this up. And I think that's why I'm not as worried as a lot of other Juventini are.
Yep, and look who just joined the chat.
Mr. Trim.
He says, Buonasera, gents. Had to be 3 points today, and we got him. Now pray for a draw tomorrow between Napoli and Inter. Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow's gonna be a biggie. That's a biggie.
Yeah. 100%.
A draw tomorrow would be ideal. One of my best friends actually is a Napoli fan, diehard Napoli fan.
Wow.
And he's like, he texted me like a few times yesterday and another few times today. He's like, "Oh, cool, you guys got the 3 points." And I was like, "Bro, don't look at us. Worry about yourself. You got to go play San Siro tomorrow, bro, against Inter. Worry about you guys." We could get into this. I think Napoli is the most overhyped nonsense this year. I don't see what all these other people are seeing. I just don't. Even despite the Conte factor and the Lukaku shit, I don't see them being even a factor. I just don't get it.
Yeah, no, I listen, in the beginning of the season, I was like, it doesn't make any sense that they would actually be, up there. I mean, they're going to be, I said possibly 4th to 5th place, but to challenge for the title, I was like, come on, they don't even have one injury for their team. It's like they're going to be in shambles. That's why I think.
Yeah. I mean,
especially
I get it. They added a lot of depth to that team. I get all of that, and they did a lot of very little moves that come out big at the end, but I just don't see them. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get. Yeah. I'm not buying into that idea. I'm not. I don't see it. But look, we'll see.
Who knows? Yeah, like I said, it all depends on if they show up tomorrow against Inter, which I don't really see them.
Well,
because
this is a good test, right? This is a good test in the San Siro, like against Inter. Let's see what Inzaghi versus Conte has in mind, right? Like they might want to play for a tie.
Yeah.
Just like I feel like Inter wanted against us. Like maybe they just want to just grab a point out of the game and just then feed off of the lesser teams the rest of the year? I don't know. Like, we don't know who's going to be aggressive tomorrow in that game.
Well, I think Inter is going to be probably the more aggressive one as we
Right.
expect. You know,
Exactly. Well, they
so
just play that way. They play a
yeah,
more aggressive style. So you would think that Inter would be the one who's going to, and especially that they're home, they're going to go probably for the win.
oh, yeah,
They want the 3 points, but the Napoli who won the Scudetto a few years ago, if they walked into San Siro, they're going for the 3 points.
yep,
They're not going to play conservative and say, okay, I just want a point out of this and get the hell out of there.
yeah,
So we got to see. I mean, look at us when we played them in San Siro a few weeks ago. We could have
yeah,
won that game. We
oh
could have,
yeah,
if it wasn't for the penalty kick, the PKs, we could have easily taken that game. So it's more a matter of what the coach, and look, I've said this a million times on your pod. I've said it a million times in the chats. It really does depend on the ideals of the coach. If the coach wants to get in and out and just steal a point, that's one thing. If they're going to try to go in and win it, be aggressive, hey, it'll be a fun watch. It'll be a fun
yeah.
watch.
Exactly. And Sunseed actually says
Ooh,
about the
sorry.
Torino game that he says my favorite part of today is the clean sheet. Oh yeah,
Yes. Oh yeah.
we needed
Well,
that.
did Perin really have to do much today? I mean,
I don't think they even had a shot on target. I don't
uh,
remember.
I will say this about this current Juve squad and Thiago Motta's squad is the possession time is the best part of what he's brought to this point of the season in his first year.
Yeah,
It makes it a much more fun watch as opposed to the last few years with Allegri, where it keeps me in the game because we control so much of it possession wise. And I can't. When's the last time we had like under 50% possession this year? I
oh,
don't. I can't even.
I don't remember.
I don't think it's happened. I really
Yeah, no,
don't like. And that's I'm talking about in Champions League as well. Like I don't think that we've been the lesser of the possession time,
no.
even when we've
We
lost
dominate games. We
or
dominate games. I think that we
we
dominate
do.
games. You
Right,
know.
which keeps us as Juventini fans. It keeps us ensconced into the game where we're like, fuck, we could have this game. We could have this game. We could have like we constantly tell ourselves that.
Exactly.
And I think that's the one thing that Mota has brought to this is, like I said earlier, like you saying man of the match, and to bring it back to what you were asking, Locatelli and Thuram helped that out so much today, and even against Lille on Tuesday. Like those two are actually, since this new regime has brought in, I feel Loca and Thuram have been the two best combos in that midfield.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. And also we have actually a comment from Trim himself that says, "What was your overall thought on today's game? I thought it was a good game in the first half. We finally started on time. LOL."
Yeah.
He said, second half we were a bit slow in our ball movement and positioning, finding open spaces. Yeah, no, 100% agree. I think in the first half, I think we played phenomenal. Like we were
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yep.
Especially how we started. Like we started like very hungry. Especially Cambiasso was just unbelievable, just like running in
Oh yeah.
behind, dribbling. Like he was unstoppable.
I feel like the second half it kind of died out a little bit only because we were feeding off of Torino's play where they weren't really pushing us that much, and we just basically like were feeding off of them. Like they weren't hitting us that hard. But the only problem I have with that is that I feel like Motta, in that sense, should have said, let's experiment with this a little bit in that second half. Being,
Yeah.
yes, I get it. We were only up 1 goal until Yildiz's phenomenal goal. But up until that point, I feel like we should have, they weren't really testing us. So it was almost like we played a little bit more, we got the point. We got the 3 points and we just played out the game. I feel like we should have tested some things out
Oh yeah.
as far as formations, styles, stuff like that. And I feel like we kind of didn't do that. Now, I'm I'm being a little too picky with stuff, but that's my only gripe with today is that I feel like we owned this game from, I want to say, maybe the 10th minute. We
Yeah.
were in complete control of this game, where I feel like at that point you're up a goal. Let's try some stuff out. Let's do some stuff. Let's see how this would work or this would work in, formations, styles, attacks, stuff like that. Other
Oh
than
yeah.
that, Trim. Other than that, to Trim's point, like I'm very very happy, and the goal with Yildiz and Conceição was just that was a beautiful, like, that's just beautiful soccer to watch. Like, two very talented wingers just doing it all by themselves, and how great was it that he did it on Del Piero's birthday, and he paid homage to him. It was just, I got a little choked up, to be honest.
Oh yeah. No.
Trim knows. Trim will tell you this. I get choked up very, very easily when it comes to Juve stuff. Like, so,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it was awesome. It was just really, really. It was a nice goal.
No, and like I said, especially like the first half, what I think, I think that we did good. I think that we were really making Torino look like, that they didn't even know how to play. And today it showed that they weren't even threatening up top. And,
Yep.
like I said, yeah, it was 1-0, like you said, right? You said it was 1-0 at like halftime. So it wasn't as it wasn't, like I said, we could have experimented. We could have saw maybe a little bit more of an attacking, more attacking style, which we should have, I think,
Yep.
especially with Motta, he should have done something, for sure.
Yeah. I am liking on the right side the Cambiasso and uh is it Yildiz on the right side or
Well,
Weah?
it was Weah.
Today it was Weah.
Yeah.
I just feel that anybody who's going to play in front of Cambiasso, like, it just works. Whether it's
Yeah.
Weah, whether it's Nico, Cambiasso, like, Cambiasso is just such a beast, bro. Like, it's starting to, like, get to the point where I'm like, this is an all-star type player. And this is a guy who was playing in Serie D like 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Like, nobody took a hit on him. Like, nobody was like, hey, let's try this guy. This guy is becoming very, very nicely our best player. Like, he's becoming our best player.
Oh yeah. No, like I said, he's probably the most impact player on
Yep.
this team so
Yep.
far out of all of our new signings, especially with
Yep.
Louise out, which a lot of people are still not happy with that.
Yeah, we can get to that. We can get
Yeah.
to the Louis stuff. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because definitely a lot of people, are, I would say, pretty upset by that as well. And also the Nico Gonzalez, right? A couple other, whoever else is injured, I think Adzic, not too much pressure on him, but mostly
Yeah.
on the other guys. So definitely, like I said, we played a good game, but I feel like that we could have done way more, and we should have done way more.
100%.
The reason why I say that is because of the next games that are coming up, right? We need to test our strength and attack. We're versing a Milan that just tied to Cagliari. So, yeah.
Did you guys watch that game?
No, I didn't. I actually didn't even watch. I didn't even watch the highlights of the game. I
caught the second half of it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't keep up with the score because every
Yeah.
time, like, so I have it on, and then I'd go inside and, like, make a coffee or go make a drink, and then I'd come back out and I was like, wait, now it's 1-0, now it's 2-1, now it's 2-2, now it's 3-3, and I was like, what the hell is going on with this game? Going back to Trim's last, from my buddy John, who wears 7 better Chico. Wait, what did Trim say? That the last one?
Right here.
Who wears the 7 better Chico? Oh, come on, bro. You really want to go right now? You want to go? You want to go, bro? Look.
No, I listen. They're two different players, though.
Yeah,
I mean, they're very impact, but
here's what I've said, and I've said this a million times. I don't want to get on the Chiesa thing. My issue with that is we don't know what really happened with the club. I look at it more of a game to game basis and talent to talent basis. Give me Chiesa and Conceição on those wings with Yildiz in the middle. Guys, what are we talking about here? Like, what are we talking about? But you're not going to tell me that Chiesa is, Conceição, Weah, Nico, any of the wingers we have now, you're not going to tell me they're better than Chiesa. And if you are, then let's just agree to disagree, because I think you guys are crazy if you think that. But whatever. It is what it is. Yeah. He's not having a very successful thing going on with Liverpool right now either. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, if we kept Chiesa, what I would have done if I was Motta is put, Conceição and him on the wings, put Yildiz in the middle, and put Koopa as like that number 8
behind him. Yep.
That would have been, I think, way better.
100%.
I think that would have been way better.
Well said, Gio. Well said. That's what I'm. That's like.
Yeah.
That's Juventus type squad. That's a Juventus squad.
The reason why I say that is because, one, we already seen what Yildiz can do in the 10 role, right? The first 2 games.
Yeah.
He was insane. We scored we scored 3-0 in both games. With him as a 10. And I think with Coop's defensive skills, he could have played that number 8. And then we have Chiesa that's like Conceição and, taking his man on, right? And create those chances out of nothing.
Well, I think that also there. When you have, this is all hindsight and all like whatever, but like when you have a Chico on the right or left, and you have a Chiesa on the right or left, you're going to draw the defenders over to either side respectively, right? So if they're going to hit the left side, all the defenders are going to draw there, and you're going to open up Coop Miners in the middle and Dusan in the middle, and these monsters that we could finish with. My issue was I felt like Juventus is a big squad, big market team. You should be able to retain a Chiesa and then go sign a Conceição, to the point of, let's go big here. If we're going to go, let's go big. Otherwise, what are we doing? Now, don't get me wrong. I like the Nico signing. I like Nico Gonzalez. I really do. But we haven't seen it yet, right?
Yeah.
Like, we haven't. So, and we did sign a lot of big poppy guys in the midfield with Douglas Luiz and Coop Miners and Thuram. So it's like we did everything except for that. And I'm not saying that we're lacking. I don't miss Chiesa. It's not like I'm saying, I wish we had Chiesa still on that wing, because I'm not. No. And I'm the biggest Chiesa fan. I'm not saying that as of now. You want to know why? Because of Conceição and because of Yildiz. Those 2 guys have really carried it. Weah, I know I'm in the minority here. I just think that he's not a Juventus caliber winger. Right now, I think he fits us better as a Vice Vlahovic, like they did today. Yeah. In the, what was that, the 70th minute, I guess, when they took Vlahovic out, and they put Weah up top with Coop right behind him, and then they put Yildiz and Conceição on the wings. That actually worked, obviously, with the goal, but I'm saying, like, it actually worked. And then McKennie, by the way, pushing forward too, as like another power like midfielder pushing up. It worked, and I think that's the best spot for Weah. I don't see Weah. My problem with Weah, you want to know what it is, and I fight with the guys in the chat all the time, he just doesn't create much. Like, he's a one-trick pony. He's got tons of speed, but all he does is going to run up the side. He's basically like a DeMarco. He's going to run up the wing and center the ball.
Yeah.
And if he and he's not going to take his man on one-on-one. He's not. What he's going to do is center the ball or pass it back. That's not what Chiesa or Conceição do.
Yeah.
They're not. Like, he's just not going to do that. But,
and I agree 100%. Is that I think that, in my opinion, I think that you're right with Weah, that he could do better in a Vlahovic position.
In the middle, yeah.
He
could go back on the ball. And he could go back on the ball.
He does have a good touch. He has actually his touch actually, his hold up play is actually way better than Vlahovic, as we saw.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah, I know. It's weird to say that, but I think also with his speed as well, that's also an advantage when he plays in that position, because he could break the lines.
100%.
Way better than Vlahovic.
Agreed. Agreed.
And that's why I think that's a good point. But I don't think that Weah has I would say the training enough. He doesn't have that much training
He's
for
just
that.
not a. I just don't see him as a play creator. Like he's
Yeah, no, he's
better
not. No.
suited. He's better suited in the middle of the
Yeah,
pitch than he is on the wings.
yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
yeah. No, 100%. I agree with that. And lots of stuff, especially with the Mercato coming on with Xerxes and
Oh God.
Endrick loans, and I actually just recorded a video before this stream, and it's gonna be up possibly later tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, oh my God, you know that. But like I said, Weah's position would be definitely probably Vlahovic's position, like somewhere in
Yep.
the center, because like I said, he has the speed to really break those lines, which was what we need Vlahovic to do. And I don't really see Vlahovic doing the same. He reminds me of the same Vlahovic, in my opinion, as how he was playing with Allegri. A little bit slow jogging, especially with not pressuring enough.
Well, I said this on your live. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. The same way I call Weah a one-trick pony, Dusan is a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
He's just that type of striker. He's not a forward. He's a striker, which means it's all one touches with him. Like he's just gonna hit it. You have to have him get the best pass, one shot, and he'll give you the crazy goals. But if it's a little bit like the easy ones, he's gonna boot them. Like I don't know why. I don't know why he's gonna boot them. Wait. What did Trim say? Go back to that
Trim
last
said
one.
that. Yeah, Trim said.
Oh, John. Tell John I got something for him too. Don't worry about it. I got something for John. But no, I look. I have my gripes with Dusan as well. Like he's eaten a lot of goals. But we have to face facts, guys. Dusan is that's the striker he is. He's a striker. He's not a forward. Like Xerxes is a forward, which means Morata is a forward. Weah would be a forward. Like they're going to come back on the ball. They're going to be able to dribble his guys on one. That's not Dusan's game. Dusan's game is set me up, and I'm going to hopefully, which he hasn't yet, but I'm going to 99 out of 100 times bury it in. I'm going to figure, even if I got two guys ripping my shirt off, I'm going to figure out a way to bury it in. And that's the problem. That's what our issue is.
Yeah, no, did you see the I wonder if you saw the miss that Vlahovic did today. Oh my God. Yeah, remember when Coop was like running on the side and he passes that nice ball right into Vlahovic, and guess what happens? He completely misses the ball.
No,
I'm like,
seriously. He swiped at it like a baseball swing. Like he was just like, whoop.
Oh my God.
I get it, and I'm in the chats, I'm like the biggest Dusan defender. But that one was tough to defend. That one was tough to defend. I was like, I can't even defend that one. Like, all right, bro.
No, I was like in the chat.
Get your shit together. Get your shit together. Like, that's an easy goal. That's an easy goal.
I was like in the chat. I was like, Vlau misses at it again.
Yeah, of course.
And
well, speaking of Vlahovic, that's there he is right there. Reno on point.
Yep.
Vlahovic.
Yep, Vlahovic, please get rid of this guy.
Well, I wouldn't get rid of him. I don't know if I'd get rid of him.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go that far. Reno, relax. Stop drinking the limoncello tonight and take it easy a little bit, because we're not getting rid of Dusan.
No, but Jeff, welcome back. Jeff says that for the winter mercato, get a center back. Yeah, we definitely need a center back because I can't stand Danilo. I cannot stand Danilo playing in playing at all. I can't stand him.
Well, can I bring something up now that he brought up the center back stuff?
Yeah.
Have you or anybody in the chat loved what Gatti does? Like, as far as he's a shit stirrer. Like,
oh yeah.
And we need that. We don't have that. And I said this in the chat today. Like, we need a guy that the other team's gonna hate. Like a Ramo, like, you know what I mean? Like those kind of defenders, like where who's that defender on Inter who I can't stand? The old guy, who makes the Italy team all the time.
Oh, Acerbi?
Acerbi. Like, we don't have that guy anymore. Chiellini used to be the guy, right? But we don't have that guy that was like, oh, fuck, I hate this guy.
Yeah.
Gotti's becoming that, like little sneak shots underneath, pulling shirts. We need that kind of a center back. And thank God for Gotti that he's like that a little bit, right? Like today he did it. He did it to in that corner kick today, where he like literally like, I love that they fought about it, but like you could see it. That should have been a yellow card right away.
Oh, yeah.
But he like ripped the guy, like he pulled him down. We need that. Juve doesn't have that shit stirrer on our team right now. Everybody's, moving around, pussy feathering around the ball, and they're all like Locatelli a little bit is like that. But other than that, we have no guys like that. That's why I kind of love Gotti. And then Gotti's doing his thing. I have to tell you, he's doing his thing.
I like him as the captain of this team.
Me too.
I like him because he's played very well whenever he has this captain, armband.
Yeah.
I think, even without it, he's just been
good with it. He's not great on the ball. He's not great on it. But when he's got to defend, he defends. He does his business defending. He's not a very sweet playing center back where, as far as the ball, but neither was Bonucci, right? Neither was Chiellini. None of these guys were great on the ball. Yeah. But they did their thing, and they had a presence to them. Stop, Reno, already. I've had enough. Reno, go have another limoncello or something.
Oh man,
on your birthday.
We got David that's back. What's going on, David? Jeff says Vlahovic is inconsistent, but when he's hot, he can ball. Yeah. I said,
he could carry a team. He could carry a team.
I mean, we saw it versus Leipzig, right? Created that goal, that crazy goal out of nothing. But he just needs that consistency, man. And I think in order for, and I'm not going to be surprised if he leaves at the end of the season. I'm not going to be surprised if he's going to be leaving at the end of Vlahovic. I'm not going to be surprised if he leaves at the end of the season.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be pissed.
You think so?
I'd be pissed more because, what's your options?
Well, supposedly, the contacts of Osimhen, Jonathan David, you got Xerxes too, which supposedly.
But how much? So if you can get Dusan down to, let's say, net 9 million or 10 million, is that really saving you that much money if you go after Jonathan David, or Osimhen's going to cost you more?
Oh, I know.
But
no, I mean,
like,
Jonathan
David,
David.
What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Like, Jonathan David's going to cost you, at least after the year he's having now, like.
No, he's a free transfer at the end of the season.
No, I know, but you still have to pay him.
Oh yeah, with the salary,
an annual salary of. He's not going to take 6.
Yeah. No, I mean also with the reduced salary for Vlahovic, somebody just said it in the chat too.
Right, like that's kind of what I want. Like, can't we get him down to like 9 or 10 net?
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, if we could get Vlahovic down, then what he's really at right now, he's I think 12 million. 12 million, I think, that's his salary. But
I also think it's what Dusan stands for with this team. Like, he's another sub captain.
Reno.
See, the thing is also with Dusan is I also look at him as like another sub captain on this team. Like, he's inspirational. He's, he takes a lot of guys under his wing and stuff like that. Like, I like that about him. Like, there's a lot of, innuendos that we don't see necessarily because he's not scoring a million goals all the time. But I get it. For the money he's making, he's got to be scoring more goals. I get that. And he knows it. You think he doesn't know it? He knows it 100%.
Yeah, no. And like I said, if he could just work on his touch or like his put-up play, like somehow, like that's what I think he should be doing, like, shrugging the guy off, like somebody like whoever's, I would say, aggressive, which in my opinion, put Gotti on him and let him test him out a little bit, because you see, it's like he's built, he's big. Vlahovic is big, but I'm like, where is the push? Where's the
Gio, you just brought up a really good point. So in their training during the week, You have a very, very big center back in Gatti, and you with Bremer as well, like all these years.
Exactly.
You would think that Allegri or Motta would have said, okay, power this guy on. Let's see how he could do it. Now, I will tell you, because Dusan is a big guy. Like he's not like a striker like a Xerxes is, right?
He's massive.
He's a big dude. He's a big striker, like a Holland type.
Yeah.
What is it for this guy to figure this out? What is it? Like, I don't get that part of it. Like, the goals that he does score are insanely hard. And then the stupid easy ones, like perfect example, like Weah's goal today. That's you blow on that and it goes in. Like it's not a big deal like for that. And then confidence level, if Dusan gets a goal like that, he's set. Like he's good for 2-3 weeks. I scored my goal. I'm good to go. Whatever. But you would think that Allegri and Motta would have by now figured out, hey, let's put Gatti and Bremer on this guy hard in training. Really like ripping at him, like do whatever. And I get it, bro. Dusan is a big guy. But you would think by now, like they would have figured out a way, like for him to be like, okay, he's a power forward. I said this in your last pod. He's a power striker. Like that's what he is. He's gonna try to hold two guys on, do a little 180 wrap around, and boom, bang it in with his left foot.
Yeah.
But he's not. Because on the easy plays that he should be scoring, he's not. He's whiffing on them. They're going over the net. They're going on the side of the net. He's whiffing on the ball. And Trim just made a really good point. It's the money too is another big thing. You could feel the pressure of the salary on him, where I'm sure Giuntoli is on him about the money, and he's not producing. So that's probably getting in his head.
Yeah. And that's also the other problem is mentally upstairs he's just like I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. If it's not that, then I would say, it's what he has that is at his disposal, right? We talk about the hold up play that's not as good, the first touch, which you have to have a good first touch, when you're playing in this type of level.
Yeah. I mean, what's funny about him is when he does come back on the ball, like where if he jumps back up to the midfield and tries to hit a winger coming up the flank, he's actually pretty good at it. Like he actually does hit his man pretty good for the most part.
Yeah.
It's more of then he's got to spin around and come back up the middle on the counter, and that's where he fucks it up. That's where he messes up. So like Yildiz or Weah or a Yildiz will set him up, or a Koopmeiners will set him up, and then he either whiffs on it, like something like. But when he does come back the last few times against Lille and against Torino today, he actually looked pretty good on like setting up the play. Like he'll come back to the midfield, center it, one touch to like Yildiz or to Weah. Now he turns around, comes back up the straight up middle, and then he fucks up the other. The middle play, where I'm like, bro, you set that up perfectly, and then you messed it up. So what are we doing here? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, no, and not just that, but we, like I said, no, what? Like I was talking to my dad the other day, and I said, because he's not a big fan of Vlahovic. Like he likes him, as like I would say an inspiration. I like him, because I've been liking him for the past years.
Me too. I'm a big fan. I'm a huge Dusan.
But I was just asking.
I actually have his jersey on.
You have his jersey on?
This jersey of this year I got in a Dusan. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. No, I have my Vlahovic. It's the third kit for this season.
I'm only zipping up because it's a little chilly in Brooklyn, New York tonight.
No, like I said, what we were talking about is Vlahovic's hold up play. And we were just saying, like, whenever Vlahovic comes back, right, when he comes back and tries to get the ball from like somebody like from like a Thuram or like a McKennie or like a Locatelli, right,
in the middle,
whenever there's like some sort of pressure, like if there's like a defender that's like following him, that's like sticking him to him like glue, he can't shrug him off.
Yeah.
He can't shrug him off, and that's the
And he
biggest
gets
thing.
and you could see the frustration on him.
Yeah,
Where he'll look to the ref and be like, "Come on, like call something." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, he didn't do anything
yeah.
wrong."
But that's also my other point as well is why doesn't he, if you don't hear a whistle, because I always hear this when I played, when you don't hear a whistle, keep
Keep going.
playing, keep
Yes.
going, keep
Well
going.
said. Well said.
And
Well
that's
said.
what he doesn't do. And the other thing that also makes me pissed, and it also occurred last season, is that whenever he's on the ground, does he get up and try to get the ball back quickly? No, especially when the
Yep.
referee doesn't whistle. He's laying on the ground complaining to the referee,
Yeah, he's and
come
I
on.
would have thought that under Mota that would have changed, Gio.
Yeah.
Because you could see that in a lot of other players with Loca, with Duram, with um uh McKennie, like a lot of other of a lot of these players that were under Allegri for the last few years, and now you look at them under Mota, like they don't do that. Cambiasso is another one
Yeah.
where you don't see them doing this. Oh, come on! Oh, come on!
Yeah.
They're going. They
They're
lose the
going.
ball. They
Going.
literally jump jack right up and right back
Yep.
and like try to get the ball back.
Yeah.
Dushan's not doing that, and I have a feeling, not to bring him up again, but I have a feeling that that's why Giuntoli didn't want to bring Chiesa back. Because, bro, I'll say this. The two best Italian players in Italy right now are Chiesa and Barella, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
The two best
Yeah.
Italian players.
Yeah.
And those are the two biggest whiny bitches that exist.
Exactly.
In it, like everything is, oh, oh, like every play that they have, they
Yeah.
look and they start doing this shit. And I'm like, that was the one thing about Chiesa's game that I hated is that the second that a defender would take the ball away from him, he'd be like, "What do you mean? It's a foul. What do you mean?" Like, and they would start, and I hate that. And that's kind of what Dushan's doing. Like, so every time somebody pulls his shirt or does whatever, like he falls to the floor and tries to like this whiny thing. I can't stand that. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Instead, if you look at Loca, Cambiasso, Thuram, um, um, Cambiasso, all of these players that we now have under Mota, I don't feel like Cambiasso loses a ball, bro. He's going right out.
He's going
Thuram
right
loses
out
a
after.
ball.
Yeah.
Thuram especially, bro. If he loses a ball, he's going right back at that guy.
Yeah. No, Chico too. Did you notice about Chico? Whenever he
Chico,
loses,
oh yeah.
Oh, he runs. He runs.
Oh, dude, he's like a little pipsqueak that just like
Yeah.
flies right back at the guy. It's crazy.
Yeah. No.
So
100%.
that's why maybe they saw something we didn't with Chiesa, right? Like, so maybe Chiesa wouldn't have done that,
Yeah.
and
Well,
they
no.
saw that
Yeah.
and they said, let's get him out of the project.
Yeah, no, let me tell you the reason why Chiesa, I think, left as well. Not just because I think the whole situation, but, I think it's also because of the work rate.
Yeah,
Like McKennie, right?
that's
He
a good
puts
point.
in that work rate. Chiesa's that type of guy that would just hang out in the front.
Chiesa's not a box to box player. He's not.
Yeah. He
He's
won't
not
he won't
going.
track back. He won't,
No,
he's not that type of player. And that's why I think Moto
but
is like, okay.
but in his defense, a lot of big time wingers are not doing
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Leao is not that guy.
Yeah.
Even I'll even go a step further, and I know I might get killed in the chat, but Vinicius Jr. doesn't track back that much.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%.
You know
Why
what I'm
do you
saying?
think
And
Madrid is so leaky, right?
right.
Why do you
So
think they're
Mbappe doesn't go back that like these guys who think that they're holier than now and they think that their shit doesn't stink. They're not gonna track back like a Conceição does, like a Weah does. Yildiz even Yildiz not as
Yeah.
much, but they're still gonna go back. Chiesa's not.
Chiesa, nope, he's not
Leao
gonna
is
be that
not.
person.
Vinny Jr. is not. Mo Salah is not. Like these guys don't go back like you. So Chiesa basically in his head, I guess, put himself in that genre of wingers where he's like, no, I'm just gonna hang around the middle field and I'm gonna do this. Yeah, I might help out on the flanks a little bit on a counter or whatever because I have speed, but they're not gonna do what Yildiz does, what Weah does, what Conceição does. Conceição, for example, goes back a lot,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
which is weird to me. it's
Yeah.
so weird to me that he goes back as much as he does.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and we actually have a comment here from Sunseed that says, "I got a question by, let's say, December or January. Who will be more clinical, Coop or Vlahovic?" Coop.
Coop
Coop.
is by far.
I think Coop. Like I said, once he puts that first goal in,
I
Coop is
think Coop.
gonna be.
I think we're only gonna go as far as Coop brings us because
Yeah,
we haven't felt his wrath yet, and
and it will come soon. It will come soon. I believe that it will
I
come
hope
soon.
so. I hope, and I kind of agree with you, Gio. Like I think that we've gotten to where we are right now in the standings without him.
Yeah,
We haven't seen him yet. We still haven't seen him.
yeah. Trimp says, I actually think Vlahovic is holding up well lately. The finishing is the problem, 100%. He
Yeah.
threw
Oh
that
no,
Torino guy
Trim,
down today, and he had the chance.
no
Yeah,
Trim, you're 100% right. I
yeah,
it to me, like I said earlier, Trim, he's actually today, like he did it today, and he did it well against his last 2 or 3 games. I like the way he's coming back on the ball. I really do. I
yeah.
like the
No,
way he's finding the winger flying up the flank and getting it to him good. It's more of, like you said, Trim. It's it's finishing it. Whether
yeah,
he's on a pass or whether he's trying to finish the goal himself, that's his issue. That's his issue. But when he comes back, the last 3 or 4 games, he's actually been pretty good.
yeah. No, yeah, 100%. I think that definitely, in terms of the last few games, right? When he comes back, it's been a way better showing. But when it
Yeah.
comes to going forward and then, getting that final ball into the net, he can't do it. Yes, he's been missing the sitters, and that's the biggest problem
Well,
because
that's the issue. That's
yeah,
the issue. I have to tell you, him and Coop kind of are going along the same path this year, where I feel like every time they touch the ball, you could almost feel the pressure
yeah,
on their shoulders. Like they have so much self added pressure on themselves because they're supposed to be so good, and they are supposed to be so good, right? Like they're the highest paid players in the league, essentially, um, or one of the highest paid players. And I think that you could see that in their play, where they're like every touch, they're almost a little nervous. They're not playing free. Like look at Gunsen Sao, for example. Like Gunsen Sao plays. Sometimes he tries to do a little too much, but for the most part, Gunsen Sao is just very, and Yildiz the same. It's just like they're playing with a nice at ease to them. Like they're comfortable. They're gonna either center it or they're gonna take their man on, and they're comfortable in their thing. As opposed to
exactly.
Dushan and Koop Miners, you could tell like they have like that stress on them. Like I have to score here, or I better
Yeah,
do the right thing here. Like, and I think that's on Mota, to be honest with you. Like he's got to figure out a way to keep them a little bit more relaxed, um, in those
yeah,
situations.
yeah, 100%. Like I said, if Motte can actually keep that forward line, mentally ready, for each
Yeah,
game going forward, and they could actually have those chances again, if they could create more, for Coop and for Vlahovic, then I think that eventually one of them is going to go in, and when one of them goes in, they're going to be consistent.
yeah,
And like I said, once Mota finds that formula on, getting that ball like right into like, I haven't really seen that much is, compared to when Mota was at Bologna last season is when they played versus us. I don't know if you remember that game. Bologna
Oh,
was
I
on
do.
top of us.
Yep,
They were on top of us. And we remember the first goal, we lost it in our own half.
yep.
We lost it in our own half and they ended up scoring.
Well, let's not forget we were playing a park the bus type
Exactly.
game
Yeah.
where Mota tried to capitalize on that. Where now we're such a different team, where you would think a guy like Dushan or Coop would capitalize on stuff like that, right? Like
Yeah.
he's not that park the bus guy. Mota doesn't do that, bro. Like ever. Like we could be up 5-0 or we could be down 5-0, and he's just gonna be possession, 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 possession. I
Exactly.
want the ball. And Mota's way of playing is the best defense is if the other team doesn't have the ball. And that's the one thing. And bro, Alberto can tell you this, Trim can tell you this, Reno can tell you this. I didn't want Mota.
Yeah.
And my favorite part of what he's done this year is the fact that his concept is if we have the ball, they can't score. That's his
No,
way
exactly.
of defending.
Yeah.
That's his defense. If we have the ball, they can't score. And that's
Exactly.
the one part of Thiago Motta that I absolutely love. And it makes it fun to watch. It makes it fun to watch.
100%. And we have another comment here from a new subscriber, and he's a Crystal Palace fan. He says, this is Luke. He says, hey, guys, from a Crystal Palace fan, keep up the good work. Just started watching your guys' content, and you guys earned a new sub. Good luck for the rest of the season, Champions League and Serie. Thank you, Luke. Thank you.
Awesome.
Means a lot. Means a lot.
Glad to have you aboard, brother.
Yeah, man. Lamp Chop says, let's get to 500 subs. Like and subscribe. Yeah, like I said, we're getting close. We're very close now. Let me see where we're at now.
Let's get those likes up, guys.
We're at 457.
Let's go. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Keep going, man. Get some more people like Luke in here. Let's go, Luke. Get some more your Crystal Palace fans. That'll work. Why not? But yeah, no, 100%. You know, with that whole, you know, just this whole game, I think has been doing we've been doing phenomenal. Like for the past couple games, I think we've been doing good.
Yeah, I'm happy with the play the last few games. I mean, you can nickel and dime a lot of parts of it. The Lille game on Tuesday, today's game, like you said, it's every game you can analyze it to like a T. Where like, okay, so the Lille game we like the second half better. Today's game we like the first half better.
Yeah.
So I think that we're never going to be happy as Juventus fans because we just literally analyze every single play and counterattack and possession. But like I said, the part of it that I love under Motta's style is the possession. Every single game we have 60 to 70% possession, and that's the part of it that makes it entertaining as a fan to watch because we're in control. Where for the last 3 or 4 years, it's like, oh my God, it was like dragging and not to pardon my French, but shitting your pants every time they got into our area, and that's what bothered me about Allegri's game. And
exactly. Because, you know, when we played that defensively, right, under Allegri, you know, they just, you know, we knew that the other team was going to score eventually.
It was inevitable, right?
Exactly.
It was inevitable. Yeah.
And that was the biggest problem. You know, in my opinion, the first half of the season last year, we got extremely lucky in those couple games where it was 1-0 because the way that we played, it was just like how Napoli's playing now. You know, they're getting those scrappy, dirty wins.
Yep.
You know, and like I said, once, you know, Napoli, like I said, they already got exposed with Atalanta smacking Naples. If they start losing, oh man.
So you want to laugh, Gio? So last year, every time if Juventus scored early in the game under Allegri, I would get annoyed.
Really?
And the guys in the chat would make fun of me, like they would laugh, and I'd be like, "Oh boy," and they would be like, "Wait, what's the problem?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's the 20th minute. We are up 1-0. That's it. You're done for today." Which means you're gonna park the bus the rest of the game, corto muso, as Allegri is famous for, and you're gonna basically be on the edge of your seat the rest of the game, defending.
Yeah.
As opposed to Motta, or who I wanted was Italiano, where or Spalletti is even like that. No, you keep going. You keep pushing. You keep pounding it down their flanks and their defense. Like you're gonna keep doing that. And the last 3 or 4 years, we're not used to that as Juventini. Yep. Like we're not.
Yep.
So that's the thing that I do like about Motta. Like he's got such a nice balance of high possession, aggressiveness, but he's also, like I said a few minutes ago, he's a high possession coach. He
Yeah.
doesn't want the other team to have the ball ever, ever. And you could see that.
Yep.
Bro, if Cambiaso or Thuram or Locatelli lose a ball in the midfield, they'll legit like rip a guy's shirt off to get the ball back.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
they'll foul a guy. And that's what was the one mistake that Cabal had on Zigrova in the Champions League game on Tuesday, is that he should have pounded that guy
Oh yeah.
because he was burnt.
Yeah.
Zigrova, and by the way, where were we on Zigrova? Oh my God, what a player! Oh
Yeah.
my God, what a
I
winger!
wonder, and that's
What a
the
winger!
biggest thing. If we could get like a Zagrova and Xerxes,
Oh, sorry.
no, if we could get like a Zagrova and Xerxes on this team,
Yeah,
it would be so much. I think it would be insane. I think this team would really show its true colors. It would
but
show
that
that.
guy's
Oh yeah,
insane.
I know.
Zigrova is insane.
Because it took
He's
one chance for Little to score. I think they only had like really one, like a couple. I mean, they had a couple of chances, but like that one individual brilliance from
Bro,
Zagrova.
I'm the
Oh
biggest Chiesa fan, and that guy was
yeah,
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
He's
Yeah,
super fast. He's powerful. He's got that man on man, like I'm gonna do whatever I can. And on top of it, he's got a little of a attitude about him, like where he's got a little swag to him. Dude, where were we on him?
yeah,
Why didn't we pull the trigger on that guy?
yeah,
He's a monster winger.
yeah.
But anyway, going back to Mota's like ideals, Cabal was burnt by him
Oh
on
yeah,
Tuesday. Like
yeah,
he burned him in that goal to Jonathan David.
yeah,
The only problem was Cabal needed to have the wherewithal to say to himself, "This guy just burnt me. I'm gonna take one for the team. I'll get a yellow, no problem, and I'm just gonna pull him down."
yep.
And that's the issue, and that was the issue with that. Like, I think that I still think that our best 11 is with Cabal in that fullback, as
Yeah,
opposed
no,
to
I agree.
Savona.
Yeah,
I'd
no, I
I'd
agree.
rather Cabal in there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that Cabal has been probably one of our most underrated signings
No,
of this season.
he was a good signing. He was a
You
good signing.
know, And not even just that, but we saw it, like against Inter, that pass to McKennie.
Oh my God.
Remember that? Like,
That started it. That started
yep,
the whole thing.
yep. And that's what I'm saying. Cabal has that type of mentality of also going
And he's
forward and
got
also being,
he's got speed. He's
yeah,
got speed to come back up. And by the way, not to change the subject, but
mhm.
Cambiaso today.
uh,
Speaking of fullbacks, but
yeah, yeah,
Cambiaso today on that flank. Oh my God. He
yeah.
was
He
like a
was really
winger.
good. Yeah,
He was like
I
a
don't know what
winger.
happened. Like, it was so funny how in the last couple games he wasn't that it really in that spotlight, but this game, man.
Bro, Yildiz was like, go ahead. Like,
Yeah, go ahead. Like,
Yildiz was
shoot.
like, go ahead, pass me on the wing. Go ahead, go
Yeah.
nuts. It was
Yeah.
hysterical. I was like, what is happening right now? And he's just like he's just flying by everybody. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, let's
Yeah.
go. Let's
Yeah.
go. Dude, Cambiaso to me I don't want to overstep here, but Cambiaso's been the best player on this team this year. In
100%.
my opinion, Cambiaso's been the best player on this team.
Yeah. Well, I think you could also
This year.
say it. Yeah. This year, he was also very, I would say, impactful last season, right?
No,
He's been, I
100%.
think he's
100%.
been also impactful last season too. But this season, this is more of, I would say, this season of like a new era,
Yep.
And it's been, listen, guys, I don't know why there's a lot of Juventus fans saying that, oh, Motta with all these draws, guys. At least we don't even have a loss in the league yet.
No.
What are we saying?
No.
Once we get that,
And
winning,
as of now,
yeah,
we're in second place. We're like 2
a
points
third,
off of
yeah,
Napoli.
we're second or third right
And
now.
if they tie tomorrow, we'll be in third, right?
Yep, we'll be in third.
So what are we doing here? Like, what are we saying? And it's only what, match day 11? Is it?
Yeah, it's only match day. I think 11, or I think we're past it, but with not a lot of our players really fully being that
bro,
impactful, like a Vlahovic, where, like I'm saying, if they come back and they start,
bro,
oh man,
bro.
I saw,
There's
oh
there's 70 million euros on the bench we haven't seen yet.
yeah,
Nico Gonzalez and Douglas Luiz have not really played yet. So what are we talking about here? Like, we don't even know what we have.
exactly,
We don't even know what we have. We don't.
yep,
I get it. Like, you want to say, okay, if they were here, then Mota has problems to figure out the depth of the team, but that's a good problem to have.
oh yeah,
That's a good problem, in my opinion. That those are good problems where you have guys fighting for. Look how good Fagioli was for
yeah,
like a good 3 or 4 game stretch, and now he can't buy time to get on the pitch. Why? Because Loca's been so good, and Duram has been really good. So like he can't buy any minutes. That's how good these two midfielders have been, and McKennie, by
definitely.
the way.
Yeah, no, like I said, McKennie, I think, has been like, this is the problem, I think, with certain types of players, like who is that player that for example, who's that player? Keep forgetting.
On our team,
I think, yeah, maybe McKennie reminds me of that guy that whenever he's doubted, that's when
yeah, he
he
comes
comes
through.
to life. He comes to
Yeah.
life. You
Well,
know?
if you notice, not to cut you off, but if you
Yeah.
notice, he's actually lost a little bit of playing time the last few weeks, only because this Loca Turam
Oh yeah.
duo
They've been
pivot,
really good. They've been really good.
they've actually been working out, right? So
Yeah.
McKennie was awesome up until that point, and then they threw Loca and Turam in there, and Turam and Loca today were, and even against Lille on Tuesday, like,
He's still been great, McKennie. He's still been great.
oh yeah, no, no. And I
You
think
know?
that's why Mota likes McKennie, is because he's got that power midfielder type thing where he could play right behind where basically Coop should be doing. And I think it's because Coop was out for so long
Yeah.
that McKennie kind of thrived in that. But the depth of this team can be insane once Luis and Nico Gonzalez come back.
Oh yeah.
The where you could, and in the 60th minute, just swap out like superstar players. Like
Yeah.
it's really crazy if they're all playing to their par. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, 100%. I would say that would be the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
We also have here 2K champion that says we should get a good CB so we could push Kalulu on the right and Cambiaso on the left, where he usually is and best at. Yeah, 100%.
Well, that's a Bremer factor, right? Like, so if we had Bremer right now, still,
Yeah,
which we did in the beginning of the season, where was Kalulu playing? He was playing on the sides, and I I, I look at it. Our best center backs right now are Gatti, Kalulu, and Bremer, but we don't have Bremer, so Kalulu has to come back to the center back position.
yeah.
We're kind of forced to do that. Now, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, go get Skriniar, or go get what's the other guy's name? The one who used to play for us. Was it Draguzic?
Draguzin, yeah.
Yeah, Draguzin. Okay, cool. But is that gonna make up for Bremer? No,
Yeah.
there's no shot. There's no shot. So at this point, yeah. Do I want a center back? A full playing center back in January? 100%. And then we deal with it next year once Bremer comes back. And then how is Bremer coming back? That's another question.
Yeah.
Is Bremer going to come back to Bremer style? We don't
Yeah.
know. We don't know. So
Yeah.
it's a very, very big problem.
Yeah. And going on to that, I'm actually going to create a poll for the chat.
Oh, yeah,
Who
let's
do you,
do it.
and I'm going to say, who do you think we should get in January? Should we get Skriniar or should we get Draguzin? I'm going to put it right now as a poll.
Yeah.
Let's see what
Uh,
happens.
I can't stand Skriniar.
Really?
I hated him on Inter, bro. I hated him. But I think because I hated him so much, I think that's kind of why I want him. Like I said this earlier to some of the boys.
Hmm.
Juve needs a guy that you can't stand. Like we don't have that like
Oh yeah.
Ramos type player, a Cherby type player that like you just like, oh, I fucking hate this guy. We don't have that.
Yeah.
Gatti is a little bit like that, where you're like, oh, this guy, so he does cheap shots, like, little things like that. We had it obviously with Chiellini. We don't have that now. Kalulu's a sweetheart. Bremer is kind of a sweetheart, but he's just more talented than these guys
Yeah.
are.
Oh yeah.
Danilo was never that guy, and sorry for the fire truck that's driving by my house right now.
You're good.
They're probably just going shopping at Key Food right now. That's all.
Yeah, I know. That's what they usually do in New York. That's it.
Well, Gio, you know Brooklyn, right?
Yeah. Oh, of course, of course.
Yeah.
My dad was actually in Brooklyn the other day, and he's going back tomorrow too. He's going to be going to LMB.
You should have told him to stop by the house.
He's going to be going to LMB tomorrow.
Oh yeah, LMB.
Yep.
But no, going back to this thing, like we don't. I kind of want Skriniar a little bit more than Dragusin, only because of the dickish part of Skriniar. Like Skriniar's an asshole.
Yeah.
Like he's just that guy. Like, and we kind of need that on Juve. Yeah. We don't have that.
I mean, wouldn't you want to just get, Skriniar just to piss the Interisti
Inter
off?
fan, and
I love it.
That's a double. That's a double plus move. Like just to piss Inter off. Like, oh, Skriniar went to PSG and now he's back to Juve. Like, I get it. I mean, he's a good defender. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And I on all the pods that I watch, like everybody's like, oh no, I don't want Skriniar, and I'm like, why? Because he played for Inter? Let's just get him because he's a good, solid center back.
Yeah.
Where you could put him with all the games we're gonna have the rest of the season between Supercoppa, Coppa Italia, Champions League, Serie A, like you're gonna need a healthy rotation. You can't just put Kalulu and Gatti there every day.
Yeah.
You can't when you're playing 3 games a week, some weeks. You can't pop. And I'm sorry, dude. I want Cabal on the fullback. I don't want him as a center back. I don't.
Yeah, no,
Maybe I'm in the minority. I don't want Cabal as a center back. I don't.
Yeah. And I'm gonna ask Trim right now as well because I know he's in the chat. But
Trim.
Who would you rather have, Trim? Skriniar, or you rather have Danilo play for the rest of the season? I mean, listen, I don't want to have Danilo playing for the rest of the season unless probably maybe in the Coppa Italia, maybe like one game. Seriously, but man.
And Gio, bring that up too. What happened to Danilo? Like something happened to this guy.
I don't know.
He was a beast.
Yeah.
Like
under Allegri, he was insane.
He was a beast. Like he was just a bull back there. Like just a monster center back. Like just was great on the flanks, was great defending, was great against like these big strikers. And then like I don't know what it is this year. I feel like he came back from the Euro Cup this year. Well, not Euro for him. It was the
Coppa. Yeah, the Coppa, and he hasn't been the same.
And I feel like he came back from that and he like lost his balls or something. Like there's something about him, and you could see him. You could see his demeanor, like he's nervous, he's taking deep breaths all the time. And he's the captain of this team. Essentially, he's the number one captain.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, it's either Gatti or Locatelli when he's not playing, but when he does play, like he gets onto the pitch and he's like doing the sign of the cross. He's taking like these, like it's a World Cup final. Like, I'm like, bro, what are you doing? It's a Juve Cagliari game, and he's like all nervous and something changed with him mentally. Something's going on with him.
Yeah, no, and just before I'm gonna answer your question actually about like what's happening with Danilo. I think I know the answer as well. But Sunseed says, how many matches are there in the Serie A? I'm still a little bit new, so I have questions. Yeah, keep flowing the questions in, man. Of course. 38 matches for the Serie A. 38 matches.
It's 38 for the Scudetto, and That's not including Coppa Italia
Yeah,
and
just
Supercoppa and
yeah,
Champions League and all that other stuff.
yeah, just 38 game matches in the Serie alone. But yeah, no, and Luke says that he's gonna that he's going. So he says, "Take care, guys. Yeah, take care, my friend. Thank you for subscribing and always come back, man.
Awesome.
Always, man, always." But yeah, going back to what you were saying about Danilo, I think not even just Danilo, but Douglas Luiz,
Oh, let's talk about this
as
guy now.
well. Douglas Luiz and Danilo. Ever since that Copa America, if you remember, actually Douglas Luiz missed that penalty.
You're a conspiracy theorist, Gio. You're going back to the Brazil.
Yep,
So
I
what did
think
they do?
so.
They punched the poison in Brazil, like punched the
Yeah.
poison, punched the punch. They like spiked the punch in Brazil.
Yeah, I think
Look,
something
I'm
either
gonna
went wrong in
go.
there.
I'm gonna ride a little bit of my fratello who's in the chat. Trim. I'm gonna piggyback him on what he said. I'm not ready to X out Douglas Luiz. He's too good of a
Yeah,
player to completely like X him out of like, okay, that's it. He's a flop.
I say give him the entire season,
I
and
give
then we
him
judge
I
him
give
at the end
him
of the season.
I give him the whole season.
Yeah,
And I still can't believe that there's something else going on. Like a lot of people like are gonna say, oh, it's him not connecting with Mota and his system. Bullshit. I don't think that. There's he's not working well with Loca or with Turam or whatever. Again, bullshit. I think it's more of a health thing,
yeah,
and I think it's more of a repetition thing. Like he hasn't had the minutes. He hasn't been healthy enough to play with these guys.
exactly.
But
Exactly.
I'm sorry if you would have told me right now in the summer that we just passed that it would have been Loca, Turam, and Douglas Luiz in that midfield, and just give or take who you want in a 2-man pivot. I'm taking Loca and him any day over the week over Turam because Turam was
Yeah,
still a little inexperienced. He wasn't there yet, but Douglas Luiz played for Aston Villa in Champions League last year. Like he knows what he's doing, and
yeah.
his touches, his play on the ball is phenomenal. He's shown us little glimpses of it. The problem with him is that he hasn't had the repetition. You don't know what we have. We don't know what we have with him yet.
The confidence is not there.
Exactly.
As you've
That's another
seen.
thing. There's no confidence level. Yep.
And if you see him, I would say when he was playing in Aston Villa, completely
Mm-hmm.
different player.
And
Completely
even when
different
he played
player.
with Brazil, even when he played with
Yeah,
Brazil last summer,
yeah,
bro, he's sick.
exactly.
He's a sick player.
Yeah, no, I think that he's like really talented and really good. He
Yeah.
has that quality inside.
Yep.
Him. I think that, like I
I
said,
bought his jersey. He better be.
yeah, man, he better be good, man. After that one, man, out for
Yeah.
sure. Oh man,
So
yeah.
when I got his jersey, I sent it, and Alberto from AJC saw it. He goes, "Oh, good. Maybe you'll bring him some luck." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. I bought
Yeah,
the blue away,
the
the
blue way
third.
one,
I'm sorry,
third
the
one.
blue third.
Oh
With
wow.
and really quick side note, I only got
Yeah.
it. Every Juve player that wears the number 26, I always buy because it's my birthday, plus it's my wedding anniversary date. So so I have Lichtsteiner,
Oh
I have
yeah.
Davids,
David's okay.
and now Mr. Luis.
Yeah.
So anybody who wears the 26 on Juve, I always buy their kits, even if they're shit players. I still buy it.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
But no, he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine just because I bought his kit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, what the funny thing is, you've seen just Juve Beppe, right? You've
Oh
seen
yeah,
the
all the
videos,
time.
right? I remember whenever he used to buy like certain shirts of different players, they either he has bad
Oh,
luck with
they
them.
always
Oh
they
my
always. Oh
god!
my god.
I'm
I
like,
remember
what is
when
this?
he bought the 25 Rabio, and
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah. Oh my god.
oh, that's why he sucks. Cool,
Yeah.
awesome. That's why he sucks.
No, he also bought the Chiesa one, and like before his ACL, I think.
Did he
And he
buy
ends up,
Did he buy the 7 Chiesa or the 22 Chiesa?
I think he has
I don't
both.
have. You know
I
what's
think he has
funny?
both.
As big of a Chiesa fan I am, I don't. I must have at least 4 or 5 Chiesa kits.
Wow.
I
I
don't
have
have
only one.
any.
I have one.
I don't have any 7 Chiesa kits. All of my Chiesa kits are 22s.
22s. Yeah, I have the 7.
When he went to 7, I said
No.
something's not right. Like I feel like something's not right. Like because he
Yeah.
went to if you remember, Dusan was 7 because we had Morata on the team. So Dusan couldn't take the 9 when Dusan came.
Yeah.
When he first came. And then Morata left and went back to Atletico Madrid. And then Dusan took the 9 and Chiesa went to 7, which was, I think it was 2 years ago. And I said, okay, so now Dusan's 9, Chiesa's 7. I said, I feel like Chiesa's going to lead. And then Di Maria took 22.
Yeah.
It all happened basically the same year, but they
Yep.
never got to play, the 3 of them. Like very rarely, all of them got to play together.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I was like, something's not right with it. But I liked Chiesa better when he played with the 22. Like
22. Oh yeah.
I feel like he was with then again, he was also playing next to Ronaldo and Dybala. So
Yeah.
it was
No.
a beast trio.
Yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, no, going back to Danilo and to what you were talking about, I think he's got to go. Like it's just like
Yeah.
it's inevitable at this point.
Yeah. 100%. Like I said, I think he's gonna be leaving at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But the question is, who's going to be the guy to really step in? And Bremer too. It's unfortunate that he's actually not even present, like in this
Yeah.
team this season, because I think that he would have probably the best year. This probably would have been his best year at Juventus by far.
Yeah.
And it's really disappointing, and it really hurts. I would say it really hurts to see that
I
Bremer.
um
Yeah.
I look at it like this, and I brought it up a little earlier. What is the confidence level? And if the guys in the chat want to comment to it too, what is the confidence level of Bremer coming back in 2026? Well, no, it would be 2020. It would be he's coming back when next. He would be back for next season. He won't even be back for Club World Cup, right? In June, like he won't even be back for
Well,
that.
but here's the thing, he's already recovering, like
No, I
already.
know, but is he gonna play in the Club World Cup?
I'm not sure. I'm
Okay,
not really sure,
so
but
let's just assume he comes back in August of 2025, which would be the 25-26 season.
yeah.
Okay, how confident are you guys him being where he was?
Oh, that's hard.
You
That's hard.
know, so like not to go all like, hey, like let's go nuts here. What if he's not? What if he's not what he was as the best defender in Serie A and probably one of the best center backs in Europe? So now if he comes back next September for 25-26 season, now what do we do?
Yeah.
Who do you go and get? How do you replace the best center back in Serie A and possibly in Europe?
Yeah. Now,
You
I
know?
like I said, I don't really even know, and there's also different. A lot of Juventini have also been saying, what if he comes back as like the Chiesa like
Right,
after
right,
ACL?
like, yeah, because ACL is ACL,
Yeah.
like it. I mean, it's different for a winger. Obviously, you're going to depend on speed and power a lot more.
Yeah.
But, bro, if he's got to defend a Holland in a Champions League game or a Lukaku in a Serie A game or whatever, like the best part of Bremer's game is his power.
Yeah.
He's a powerful defender.
Yeah.
He's gonna literally rip down a Lukaku on that back line. Like he's gonna drive that guy nuts. He's gonna drive down a Xerxes or a Lukaku or any of these big type strikers. He's gonna drive that guy nuts. He's gonna rip him apart.
Yeah.
If you don't feel good and wise in your knees, you might as well like hang it up.
Yep.
So my fear is more of jumping ahead to next year, 25, 26. How effective is he going to be?
Yeah, we don't know, and that's going to be the biggest thing. You know, supposedly, the medical staff or the doctors, I would say, of that did Bremer surgery, saying that he's going to come back stronger than he was before. Which sometimes you
Yeah.
can't go by every single thing that the doctor would say, because what if it's not true?
Well, yeah.
Then we have a
Yeah,
problem. Then we have a big problem if we lose a Bremer that's like not informed. Then who are we going to get?
Bro, if this guy was healthy, you bought him for what? 40 million, 30 million from
Yeah,
Torino?
yeah. I think it was
Whatever
like
it was.
40 to 50.
You could have sold at his high point, you could have sold him for probably what, 80?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like he's that good.
yeah.
So now what's he going to be worth when he comes back? Now, again, he's a defender, he's not a winger or a midfielder. So is the ACL that relevant? We don't
I don't
know.
know. Yeah, exactly. And also we have a comment here that says, "How can I call in?" We don't do call-in shows. Well, not for this live, but soon we're gonna be doing call-in shows, especially like if I'm alone. If anybody if from the chat would like to come on for the next coming shows, of course, like to have other people on as well. But Trim also says, I personally would not let him play till next season set out the Club World Cup. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
I'm with you,
do that.
Trim.
Yeah, I would do
I'm with
that.
you, Trim. But Trim, I'll go a step further. Okay, so what do we do in January? Because we cannot go into the stretch from January to March with just Kalulu and Gatti.
Yeah.
So what do we do in that stretch, including whatever we have left of Champions League, whatever we have left of Coppa Italia and Supercoppa, whatever we have, and then we're going to have Club World Cup. We need another monster center back.
There's still a Sergio Ramos as a free agent.
Yeah, oh, man. But that's why. What's the poll look like, Gio, of the
50-50.
Skriniar
50-50.
and Dragusin?
50-50.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. All right.
I actually ended the poll with 6. There's 6 votes, and that's how many people that we have in the stream. So I ended it a little earlier.
Yeah.
50-50. 50-50.
All right.
It's not. Listen, I mean,
I would have thought that they would be more guys for Skriniar only because he knows Serie A a lot more, and
that was gonna be my point. Like, he knows Serie A more. He's won a Scudetto. He also knows a Conte style. He also knows I think for like 1 year, 1 season, Inzaghi style.
Yeah.
And he could be effective. When it comes to playing the big teams. Especially even against the small ones too. Because listen,
I'll go this way, Gio.
Yeah.
Let's just say Kalulu's had too many games in a row. Gatti's had too many games in a row, and we're playing Manchester City, which we are in a few weeks, right?
Yep.
I feel confident putting in that game. I feel 100% confident putting a jerk off like that in that game because he's got those balls. Like he's been in those games.
Exactly.
So
we need a player like that.
Yep.
We need a player like that.
And I feel confident in a guy like that. Now, is he as skillful and technical as a Kalulu or a Bremer? No shot. But he still, I think, will be okay with him.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of like muscular like Bremer, but doesn't have the same, like, I would say, a technical ability, right? But he has that kind of Chiellini type of I would say, like, he has that.
I said this earlier. Chiellini was not that great on the ball.
Exactly.
The only one out of those 3, that we, the BBC that we talk about all the time, the only one who was that kind of good on the ball was Bonucci.
Yeah.
Chiellini is horrible on the ball, but he was just
so
a
good
beast.
Defensively.
He was just a beast where he would take you down. Bonucci was great because of his ableness of like being able to find a Pirlo or a Marchisio, like running down the flank, and like passing wise, he was great at it, just like a Locatelli is now, right? Yeah. And Locatelli can do that. Like Locatelli can literally throw a ball like 50 yards at you and nail it on a dime.
Yeah.
Neither one of these people We're not talking about that. We're talking about the guy who's going to defend, who's going to make that wall up with a Kalulu or a Gatti. We need somebody to be able to rotate with them at the end of the day.
100%.
I think our fullbacks are set with Cambiaso, Savona, and Cabal. Those are our three center backs. You could rotate them any way you want. Sorry, not center back, fullbacks. Those are the guys we're going to keep on the sides. We just need another guy to help with the middle of the center backs.
Yeah, and not just that, but also like, and I agree with Trim here, right? Trim says, "Oh, we need a guy for sure." I really don't want Skriniar. I mean, listen, I would take Skriniar. I would take anybody. I'll take anybody at this point. But Trim says, but I'm hoping he turns out to become like Kalulu did when he came from Milan. And that's the thing. That's the thing. Whenever we get players from like our rivals,
Kalulu's been a godsend.
Yeah. Thank you, Milan.
Yeah. Like, who would have thought that?
Yeah, no, yeah, listen, thank you, Milan, and thank you, Antonio.
Anybody in the chat, please write in. Did you guys see him today? He was like a winger coming up those sides today. Like, I was like, whoa. What is
Yeah. Remember when he took that sprint? Remember when he took that sprint? Yeah, it was like
and insane. It's not like Gatti. When Gatti does it, it's funny a little bit.
Yeah.
You laugh because he's so big and he just wants to be involved. It's different. Kalulu literally, I couldn't tell if it was Kalulu or like a Cabal sometimes, like on Tuesday against Lille. Like, you can't even tell, like, from the outside shot, you can't even tell it's Kalulu, like, flying up the. I was like, what's happening right now? Like, he's a center back. Does he know he's a center back right now? Because he's flying up the flank, like, as if he's going to be like the winger, like, shooting balls into the middle. It's crazy. It's crazy.
But he's been so good.
Thank you, Milan.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you to Antonio, too, to IFTP Antonio, because this guy didn't like Kalulu that much. He's he's not impressive. He's not impressive like on the last podcast. Yeah. But guess what? Hey, Antonio, thank you.
We got to get Antonio back on.
Oh, yeah. No, we will.
We got to get him back on. If he's not walking by my house right now, because he lives like a few blocks from me.
Yeah, no, like I said, no, but, I think whenever we got players, from our rivals, like an Inter or Milan, they turn out really good,
Yeah.
Pirlo was one of them.
Pirlo is the one that sticks out to me, and now Kalulu.
Yep. And, I think Cannavaro, right?
Cannavaro.
Where did he go?
From Napoli. We got him from Napoli.
We got him from Napoli. Or Inter. Because he played for Inter. I know that.
I thought he played for Inter after us. These guys would know better. My history is horrible.
No. I think he played Inter before us, and then he went to Madrid after us in 2006.
I know he went to Madrid. I could have sworn he was on Napoli first, but I don't know. My memory's
he also played. I know he played at Parma because he was at because I remember.
Yeah, that I know.
Yeah, he was at that game. At the Parma game against.
Cannavaro was a center back or a fullback?
Center back.
Yeah.
Trim says that Cannavaro played at Parma. Oh, okay. No, I'm telling you, I swear that he played for Inter. Man, I'm telling you. But whenever we get players from rivals that I've known, they tend to really, I would say flourish in this team.
Yeah. I mean, but that you could say that in the opposite too, right? Like players that played for Juve. Like, for example, like an Ibra. Who was a Juventino and then went to Milan, and then the rest sells itself. Meaning, like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of players played for us first and then went on to bigger and better things. As well. Yeah.
No, if it wasn't for Calciopoli, for sure, I think they would have never left.
No, a lot of stuff would have been. Stuff would have been different.
Yeah. No, for sure.
A lot of stuff.
But I would say that definitely when it comes to like players coming to play for us, they show that they want to play for this team. And that's what I like about Motta's system, because it's like, Motta's like, hey, show me what you got.
Yeah.
I'm ready. And that, like I said, that's really important. It's really important.
I do think, and Trim has brought this up a lot.
Yeah.
Is that I think it's a week to week basis with Mota, where if you prove to me in the training, he's not going to go with the name. He's going to go with who played, who's hot, and who's going to like do their thing in training.
Yeah.
Where look how many starts Savona is getting, as opposed to we thought Cabal was the automatic starter at that fullback spot. But look how many games Savona's getting in that fullback spot.
Yeah.
So I think he just basically rides the hot hand in training, which we don't get to see, right? Like us as fans, like we don't get to see the training as much as obviously he's gonna be like, okay, Gatti really impressed me this week, or Savona really impressed me this week, so I'm gonna start him on Saturday against Torino.
Exactly.
I think that that's a Motta thing, as opposed to Allegri is gonna ride more of the integrity, experienced. Oh, okay, Danilo's been a little weak this week, but I'm still starting him because he's an experienced Serie A player.
Yep. No,
And
it's
I
the same
think
thing.
that, and I think Motta, that's the difference. Another thing between Motta and Allegri is he's doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about the experience part of it or the integrity part of it.
Yeah. No, I mean, look at when last season when Rabiot didn't play as well. He still
Mm-hmm.
started him. He still started him.
Oh,
Same thing with all these other guys.
he'll beat it. Allegri would beat a dead horse. Like he's like, that's my guy. Those are my guys. Those are my guys. Where Motta's like, I don't care who you are.
Yep.
I think the only guy who's safe to play for Motta, if they have a horrible training week, is Dusan, because they have no
Well,
other
they have no
nine.
other option. Exactly.
Right. Like I
Exactly.
think if Milik was here this whole time, I think you would see a lot of difference, because I'm sure there's been weeks where Dushan's not looked as good in training throughout the week,
Yeah.
where he's like, you know what? Between the way you've shown me and we need a little bit of rest, I think that Milik's going to play this week or whatever. I
Yeah.
don't think he has no choice. Other than that, on the squad, anybody is rotational. Like anybody.
Yeah. No, like I said, and I think the only before he got injured would be Bremer. It would be Bremer.
Bremer, and I'll even go as far as Cambiaso, only because I think he's rotated Cambiaso for rest,
Yeah.
not for play.
Yeah.
I don't think that Cambiaso, whatever games Cambiaso hasn't started, I don't think it's because of performance. I think it's more because of minutes in his legs. Like I think that he's like, this guy needs a break. Like he
Yeah.
just needs to and let him come in the 60th or 70th minute. But
Yeah.
you're right. Bremer and Dusan are probably the only players I think that are, whether they suck or they're great in training, they're starting.
They're starting. Exactly. Exactly. And also, we have to have a comment from Lamchop saying this channel is great and informative. Let's get more people watching this channel. Hopefully, let's keep it going. We're getting closer and closer to 500. That'll be a nice milestone for me as well, because
Let's
since I started
go.
it, man, that'll be awesome for
Let's
sure. But
go.
yeah, no, Trim said that we got Cannavaro from Parma. So yeah, no, I think I don't know if I'm right, but Trim, tell me if he did play for Inter. I'm telling you,
We got who from Parma? Who are we talking about?
Cannavaro.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, for me, for some reason, I keep thinking Napoli. Why do I think
Really? I don't
he has
know.
something to do with Napoli? I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I don't know. I don't know, but I guess it's a South thing or something like that with the Cannavaro, because I don't know. I really don't know. But
Um,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, like with everything that's going to be coming up now after this international break, you know.
Well, we got time now, right? So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we have basically all of this upcoming week. We don't have a game for basically 2 weeks.
Yep.
So now the next thing, and only Cambiaso and Gatti got called up to the Italian national team.
Yeah, them two got called up. Yildiz got called up for his. Coop got called up for his. And Vlahovic did as well.
Right.
Know
Is
that.
Vlahovic, that was going to be my question. Is Vlahovic gonna go?
I'm not.
Because
I
the
think he
last like
is.
1 or 2 times, Vlahovic rejected it and said he's like, no, I want to stay in La Continassa and
I wish. I wish he could stay at the Continental. I don't think he should be going to the. In my opinion, the international break is so useless.
well, the Nations League stuff. Like if it was
I
Euro
know, but man,
qualifiers or World Cup qualifiers, I'd
yeah.
be like
Then I'll like okay,
100% go and do your thing.
but
But
the Nations League. Come
Nations
on,
League and Copa America and all this stuff,
come
I just
on.
I just don't see it. My
I
issue
would
is
reject it. I would reject it because it's
the
like I'm risking myself getting injured.
right, number
You
one.
know?
And number two, Gio, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
let's address this on your channel. What Spalletti is doing with Locatelli is an
Oh
absolute,
yeah.
pardon my French, it's a fucking disgrace.
Yeah.
That is an
Yeah.
absolute disgrace. This
Exactly.
guy has had an amazing year. He's our best he's Juventus's best midfielder. And something's got to be going on there. Like it's got to be personal. If like maybe Locatelli like cursed out his wife or said something bad. There is no reason why he's not the starting Azzurri midfielder. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what
Yeah,
are we doing?
I agree. I think it's really a big disgrace, especially
Yeah,
with
that's gotta
oh
be
man.
something else going on with
Yeah, no.
Spalletti.
It
Like,
makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. Like if you're gonna call up a Cristante or like a Pellegrini,
right,
come
which is
on.
an absolute joke.
Come on. Come
Those
on.
guys are clowns
Come on.
compared to Loca.
I don't understand how they get called up, especially Pellegrini. Like Pellegrini hasn't done shit.
Yeah, no, he's a joke. He's a joke,
And then
dude.
that's what gets me so pissed off. It's like okay, Tonali has been great since he came back from the ban, 100%.
100%. Tonali should
But like
100% be there. 100%
yeah, but
should be
like
there.
like why?
Cristante is an absolute joke.
Oh
Pellegrini
my
is a
god.
joke. Frattesi to me is overrated as
Yeah.
I
He
just
always scores when the games don't matter.
that
You know?
number one and number two, he's not the same player as Locatelli. Locatelli
Yeah.
is to me there's a few players that are interchangeable with Locatelli, and that is Tonali. When we had Verratti,
And
was
Barella.
that kind of player, and Barella, where they're game controllers. Like they
Yeah.
control, like a Pirlo type. They
Yeah.
control the game. Like a Pjanic, they control the game. That's what we do. We're not offensive midfielders. We're game controllers. We don't have one of those on the
Yep.
Azzurri.
Yep.
Juventus has two of them.
Yep.
We have Locatelli and Fagioli. Those are the game controllers. Like we control. This is the guy who's going to dictate who's going where. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? He's going to go back on the back line. He could help out on the forward line. That's what we do. But now here's the difference, and this is my conspiracy theory shit.
Yeah.
I feel that ever since Spalletti went to a 3-5-2,
Yeah.
that's where he doesn't see Locatelli. Like where
Mm, yeah.
Locatelli isn't like well suited for a 3-5-2. Like where at the end of the day, you still need a midfielder to control the game. I get it, but it's been obvious this year. Locatelli thrives in a
Yeah.
4-man back line.
Yeah.
He thrives when he's got two fullbacks around him. He thrives in that. Why? Because he doesn't have to be so, I got to go back. I got to go back. I got to go back. There's no pivot.
Exactly.
Instead, in a 3-5-2, he's got
Yep.
to
Let's go. Yeah.
always worry about going back the way he did last year under Allegri.
Yep.
So my only thing is that because why else would he not call him up? Like it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. No, I don't
Why?
understand.
Why isn't
Yeah.
he calling him up? He called up Fagioli, the last one, and not him.
Yep. Wait, where is and I have a good question. Where the heck has Fajoli been?
Oh, the last few weeks, right?
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but Mota hasn't even put him in. He didn't put him in this game.
I mean, he makes the squad list.
Yeah, no, I know he's been in the squad. Like he's been on the bench.
He makes the squad list.
Yeah, but where is he? It's like
he had a stretch for about, I want to say, a good 2 to 3 weeks where he looked phenomenal.
yeah.
Where he was
I mean,
borderline like player of the game.
Yeah.
And then he just like just
Yep.
like you never heard from him again. Like,
Yep.
so
No. Yeah.
I don't you make a good point. I don't know what's up. And you could even see him today, like after the game where they go and do their thing with the Curva Nord and all that stuff,
Yep.
Curva Suds and all that stuff. He was like still in his bubble jet. He didn't even have his kit on, like nothing. Like
Nothing.
it's almost as if he knew I have no shot of getting a minute in this game unless Loka gets hurt or Thuram gets hurt. I think maybe the only thing I could think of is that Thuram and Loka have been so good where I'm not even touching it. But then again, he put McKennie in.
Yeah.
He put McKennie in for the last 10 minutes of today. So I don't know. Look, I have a lot of issues with what's going on now but they're good issues.
Yeah.
They're good issues, which means, okay, so instead of McKennie coming in the 70th today, I wanted to see Douglas Luiz come in because we don't know that.
Yeah.
But right now, bro, like I thought we were starting this season, our best 11 was with Loka and Douglas Luiz in that midfield. Those are the two guys I want to see together, but we still haven't. We still haven't. But now, look at the depth that we have. Look at how good Thuram and Loka have been. Bro, those two guys today were fire.
I know they were insane. Yeah, no, they were really, really good. Like
They
especially
literally,
Thuram has been phenomenal for the past couple of games. He's been really good. He's been really good.
Yep.
And like I said, once this team starts gelling, it's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be really, really good.
Thank you, Lamb Chop. Awesome.
Yeah, Lamb Chop says, "Great show, guys. Ciao, go Juventus, and go JuveCorner cast." Yes,
Let's
we gotta
go.
keep going,
Let's
man.
get the likes up. Likes up.
Yep. Likes up, everybody. We got around 15 likes already. Not bad.
Let's keep it going.
Yep. And yeah, no. Do you think that we have any maybe one more topic and then we'll end it? Like, what do you think?
Yeah. Throw another one out there.
I'm trying to think. Well, let's talk
about.
about.
You want to go with a Serie topic or a Juve topic?
We'll go with
Champions League.
Champions League. No, let's go with Serie for now. Let's go for the next game against Milan, right? Milan, they tied.
Yes.
Today. So tell me, because you watched a little bit of the second half.
I watched the second half of the game. Milan to me is such a what's the word I'm looking for? Like they're an enigma because you don't know. There's certain games I watch of Milan and I'm like, holy hell, how the hell is anybody beating this team?
Yeah.
And then you watch a game where you're like, what a circus act they are. And they have so many good players. It's like an all-star team at times. And then, like I said, there's times where you watch them and they're like, what a shit show.
Yep.
And today was that. Today was what a shit show. But then they go and they beat Real Madrid 3-0 in Champions League. So I'm like, if I was a Milan fan right now, and I don't know if we have any in the chat, but like, I'd be pulling my hair out, whatever hair I have left in my head. I'd be pulling my hair out if I was a Milan fan because I watched that Real Madrid game. I guess it was Tuesday or Wednesday. And I'm like, holy friggin' hell, they're beating Real Madrid 3-0.
Yeah.
And then you watch them today against Cagliari, and they tied 3-3. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I know.
Like, what is happening? But they have so many good players.
Yep.
What I will say is I feel as a Juventus fan, where the hell were we on Pulisic? Because he's a beast.
Yeah.
He's a great, great player. I feel that, I mean, we would have probably never gotten Coop if we would have gotten Pulisic because they're the kind of the essential winger type power midfielders. But I am pissed that we didn't get Morata. I've said this to you a few times, Gio. I really wanted Morata. I feel like he would have taken a salary cut to come to us. Why we didn't get him to back up Vlahovic is beyond me. But at the end of the day, facts of facts, Milan has to fix their backline. Yeah. They have the worst defense ever, that I've seen in the last few years. Like
Yeah.
They are so bare in that back line. It's ridiculous how horrible they look in
Yep.
that back line. They have so many great players with Teao and Hernandez and Leao and Pulisic uh and now they have what's his name too. They got Abraham, right?
Yep.
Um they have so many good players, but I don't know. I mean,
Well, I
I
think
don't know.
that Fonseca is one thing I've noticed is that with this Milan team is that one, it's their defense. Two, I think he's playing them in the wrong formation. He's playing them
Okay.
in a similar style, like a 4-2, like us.
Yeah, 4-2-3-1, yeah.
What I would do if I was the coach, which I'm gonna be, I want to become a coach when I get a little bit more older.
Awesome.
You know, uh, I would put them in like a 4-3-3.
A straight up
Yeah,
4-3-3.
a straight up 4-3-3.
Yeah, but
Let
didn't Pioli have them in a 4-3-3 last year?
no, I think he had them. He had them in like a
In the same
yeah, like the same
4-2-3-1?
like that. Yeah, because I heard a lot of Milan fans saying that Fonseca is just like Pioli, this and that, with all that stuff. But I would put them in like a 4-3-3, but play a little bit more defensive and on the counter because they have the players that can just take their man on it like a
Yeah.
Leao, and Leao thrives in space.
Right. But to credit to what we both said at the defense, Leao doesn't go back ever.
Yeah.
He
But that's what I'm
does
saying.
not go back and defend.
But that's what I'm saying. Have that counterattack,
and
it would be awesome.
I feel like Hernandez is only good on the counter. Only good on the counter.
Yep.
So I don't know. Like they're such a weird team to me because if you would have told me this was their team at the beginning of the season, I would say they're 100% number one contenders for the Scudetto more than us.
Yeah.
More than us. And now I'm like, no. But then again, look, they beat Real Madrid 3-0 on Tuesday. Yeah. And they tied Cagliari today. So it's like, what the hell? Like, you can't.
Did you see the interview with Fonseca? He was like, "Oh, it's so harder to play in Serie than play in the Champions League." I'm like,
right,
dude.
Okay, so I have to tell you, what like us as Juventini, all we've looked at in our Champions League schedule is Aston Villa and Manchester City, right? Yeah. Okay, imagine we had Real Madrid. We'd be like focused on that for like a month, right? As Juventini, we'd be like, oh my God, we got to face. And dude, they faced them in Real Madrid. That's sick.
Yeah.
So now, hold up. We're still 3 weeks, I want to say, away from Manchester City at home at the Allianz Stadium, and we're shitting our pants. From now,
I'm not scared. I'm not even scared of this Man City team.
Because it's Man City, right? It's the name, we right away. And
well,
I
mean, listen, they're not the same. I mean, listen, I think
they're not the same.
Yeah,
but it's still,
if it was 2 years ago, if we first
it's still Pep Guardiola. It's still Haaland. It's still the beast that it is. But we're facing them at home, and we're shitting our pants. Yeah. Milan faced Real Madrid in Spain, and they beat them 3-0. So I'm like, what are we doing wrong here where we can't even beat Parma?
Yep.
But where Milan is beating Real Madrid 3-0, and they couldn't beat Cagliari today. So I don't know if it's just the craziness of Serie A where, like, to credit to what you said, like, Fonseca said it's a lot harder to play in Serie A than it is Champions League. I mean, I think that's a lunacy to say that.
Yeah.
But come on, bro, they couldn't beat Cagliari today. Cagliari.
I know.
So look, and then perfect example, not to stir the beast, Atalanta beat Shakhtar.
Oh my God. I couldn't believe that.
I saw that the other day, and I wanted to punch my fist through a window of my truck because I'm like, this team that was the, I don't want to say it was the worst defeat we had, but I think it's just the worst we looked.
Yeah, the worst performance, I think.
The worst performance. And I'm like, Atalanta beat them 2-0. Like, it was like a nothing game. Like, I turned it on in like the 50th minute or 60th minute, and it was like like the way we beat Torino today. Like,
Yeah.
you know, business as usual type game.
Yeah.
And they overplayed us insanely, but Atalanta blew them away. Like,
Yeah.
it was like a nothing game for them.
Yeah.
So, look, it's, I'll always say this, and I'm a big baseball fan too, so I always say, like, it's a crapshoot. Like, you play these teams sometimes, and like I said, Milan tied Cagliari but beat Real Madrid 3-0 in the same week. So it really is a crapshoot with this stuff. So
yeah, 100%. Well, I mean, I think that wraps up everything. Honestly,
yeah, bro,
great show, Severino. Really great show, man. And like I said,
man.
you know, it was a pleasure having you on the JuveCorner cast, man. And you're always welcome to come back. You know, always, because we always want to hear your thoughts. You know, it's always nice. You know, and yeah, no, like I said, and everybody that's in the chat, make sure to like and subscribe. You know, share. You know, get some new Juventini in here. Get some other, you know, whoever. Like even if it's Milanista, Interista, doesn't matter. Like
bring it on, guys. Bring it on.
Like I want to see everybody's reaction, especially
bring it on. And
the
let's get some Napoli fans in here.
Oh yeah,
let's get everybody in here. Let's get it in.
Yeah, man.
We'll have fun, but you know, we'll keep it peaceful.
Yeah, of course.
To some extent.
Yeah, of course.
Extent.
I mean, there's always a little bit of banter that has to happen, of course.
100%.
You know?
100%.
Yeah. You know, so yeah, like I said, Severino, thank you for coming on, and
thank you for having me.
Yep, no problem. And ciao, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Ciao, ragazzi. Ciao, everybody.